So today we're going to talk about hackathons, how to tackle a hackathon, how to get the most of a hackathon. First of all, just the first question: who ever been to a hackathon just before this? Okay, not that many people. So that's cool. So first of all, to introduce myself, I'm Shubham from Mailjet. I work there as a developer evangelist. So yeah, I had most of my time going to this kind of event, like conferences about API tech stuff, and going to a lot of hackathons, doing this kind of presentation. And a small word about Mailjet. Mailjet is an email service provider. Probably you see us. We're just over there providing some cool swag. And so we help our customers send, receive, and track emails. We help them to increase their deliverability, to make sure that their emails come into the inbox and not into the spam folder. And all this with a SaaS and with an API. So about the subject. So I've been to a lot of hackathons since, like, when I was in college, I was going to a lot of hackathons, and that's how basically I discovered, I would say, the tech scene, and I wanted to go more deeply into it. And these hackathons helped me improve my skills as well. So the thing is, the hackathons are I would say, a 48 hours period where you just code with people you may know or not know, and the goal is just to do something, probably create something which sometimes has no sense, or create something which can probably become a company. And it's hard because you're just stuck in a place for 48 hours and drinking some Red Bull and eating some bad food or good food sometime, and you're just like, why people just go there? Why people keep organizing these kind of hackathon? Why companies like Twilio, like other evangelists continues to sponsor these events? And so the real thing is just because when we go to hackathon, as a developer or me as an evangelist, we all have some goals. We all want to get something from these events. So first you have, like, as a developer, have new ideas, experiment new ideas, and for example, when you want to test, like, take an example of this conference, you probably hear a lot of new APIs about predictive stuff, and it's truly not what you're doing every day in your job. Huh? You just have, I would say, I don't know, 10 hours or 8 hours a day, and you're coding about what you are supposed to code the whole day, so you don't have enough time to experiment this. So that's the only way when you can just go meet people and interact with these people, learn new stuff from these people, and then use and try what you learn today, or the new technology you want to use. You go there to win prizes as well. Okay, you know, sometimes it's cash, sometimes it's cool swag, sometimes something which doesn't probably make sense, but having a drone just for doing nothing, just to try something cool with an API could be really awesome. 3Scales are giving away this drone. Probably you want to just win them just to try its APIs, and because it's cool, and it will probably let you sharpen your skills. And it helped you update your GitHub. We all know that in this new social development, I would say, community, we all talk about our GitHub. We all talk about the stuff we are doing it. And I'm probably sure if you're working for a company, the code you provide, probably you won't put it on GitHub, even if it's something really cool. So this is the way as well for developers to just go there and, you know, code something in 2 days and just put it on a GitHub, which probably will have stars and will get retweeted, and you'll have more visibility on the net. That's one of the things as well, and of course, grow your network as you are doing here. You are just, of course, here for listening to great content, but as well to speak, to talk to the guy they are speaking, to talk to the organizer, to talk to the people from the community, and it's really important, basically, for your job, because you're meeting probably your next partner or your next employer or your next collaborator or your next employee. So that's one of the things as well. And of course, you're there to have fun. Even if it's hard, you're having a lot of fun in a hackathon, and we'll see why you should basically go in this kind of event. So when I was on the first side, that's why I was going to a hackathon. And on the other side, today as an evangelist, why I keep going there. So first, because my company has an API, and I want to see how much my company, like my API, is important for developer, how I can make them use, what are the different use cases of this API. Then catch up myself on new technologies. Today I have heard a lot of things, like just my booth was just here, so I was just listening to all the conferences, and I was like this morning, the predictive analysis and all this, I didn't know at all about this, and I'm pretty sure I want to try this, and probably I will try this on my next hackathon by just doing things with probably people they know more about it or know. So it will just give me a new stuff in my GitHub, a new experience, and probably I'll do something with this. And I can then say, yeah, I know something about what I wrote in this hackathon. So you want to, like, I go sometime to recruit some talents to see which are the guys who are the best in this field, which are the guys who sometimes are in school but are just way better than anyone in their in the language they're coding or something like that. Of course, me myself to meet new developers, to grow my network as well, and of course have fun like the other developers. So one thing about hackathon, and one thing to reply to a question that I was asking just before is, when you have a short amount of time, the short amount of time feeds innovation, I would say. A lot of people love to work when they have time, and this is totally cool. I love to work when I have time to structure my code and all this. But sometimes it's really cool to just not have to have this opportunity to say, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow, you know, or I will put that in my roadmap. Or if you're in a company, yeah, it's not right now on the track. We will probably see that in the next month. And here, when you have an objective, you just stuck to it, and you're, okay, let's do that. And I have this goal, so I don't care about if my code is not generic or it's not really logical stuff. I just wanted this make. Like, put your variables in static files. No one cares, right? Because it's just, you want to make that work. So these things, having a short amount of time, feeds your innovation, and I really believe into that. And even when you didn't have any hackathon, you probably cannot understand this thing, which is when you have like only 30 hours to code something, you have to deliver something at the end. It's not a pressure of a deadline where you have to deliver something to a client. It's just a pressure that you put yourself, and you want to really achieve it just to make you progress yourself, you know. So how does a hackathon basically work? First, you have to choose your team, and when you have your team all set up, you have to set a goal, you know, and with an outcome, a goal where you know where you're going. And then choose your tool, which is going to be your stack, which is going to be your favorite, the languages you're going to use, which member of the team is going to do what. Then you start coding, you start struggling with your code, you start wanting to sleep, and then you don't because you have this short amount of time. And then is the demo, the time where you show to the judges, to the jury, that you want to win this hackathon or not. You just did something cool. I know a lot of people who sometimes just have a demo that doesn't work, but doesn't matter for them, but because they just tried a new technology, and it's perfect for them. And then you just celebrate and just go to sleep because you're just so tired. So first step, when you select your team, you have different strategies. You have people that want to really win the hackathon. They want to just have the first prize. They want to have this cash at the end, and it's totally fine, because if you want to just rank yourself around in a community, it's perfect. You know, you want to be the best, and people love that. But for that, you have to choose a good team. You have to choose the best guy who's doing the front stuff if you're the back-end guy. And if you're the front-end guy, you want to have the guy who's handling with all this. And same, you want to have someone who presents really well, who's the coder, but he loves presentations. He loves to present to people stuff they are doing, but he still needs to code. You probably need a designer if it's a another kind of hackathon to make it pretty, to basically win the challenge. Other kind of people are more like, I want to just learn something. I don't care about if the thing wins at the end or not. I just want to try. I don't know. I never use Algolia. I just want to try Algolia, for example, or I just want to try Firebase because in my company we just use another kind of database. And so some people sometimes just stick in mind that you're here to have fun. It's not only a competition, and sometimes it has a lot of value to just try things and sharpen your skills in these things. Other thing, every day you work with a team, you work with some people that you used to work with, and having new member in your team, working with them, get stuck 48 hours with someone. You create links, but you sometimes argue on stuff that doesn't matter, but you try to understand yourself responding when you're under pressure, and it's really important as well. And you as well begin to having more trust on some people that you don't know, because you just want to achieve what you're here for. And it's really important for your human skill, for your personal skills. Then I was talking about the goal and the outcome. When you just begin this hackathon, you want to have something doable. You don't want to create the next Facebook. So just be realistic. Just set realistic expectation. Don't try to don't start to reinvent the wheels. Use everything. Like today, we know that there is an API for everything. So just use API. Use other frameworks that they are already existing. And this is the key for a hackathon. You don't want to recreate stuff. So set realistic expectation of things that you can do. And as I was saying, expectation was a thing, but the outcome is another one. Outcome is the thing you want to just show, the end product, or probably the end tool or device you want to just show to people to win the hackathon or not. And sometimes it happens that at midnight, or I don't know, at 3 in the morning, you're just, okay, I just passed too much time configuring my Linux, or I don't know what, or I didn't set it up my database yet. What I can do now? Should we just pivot or not? Should we change our project or something? But the only advice on that, I would say it all depends on all the project that you have. But just stuck to the first thing that you mentioned in the beginning, and it's gonna be fine. Okay, if you're not gonna have the best UI or not gonna have the small feature, but stuck into your first goal. And yeah, choose your weapons, choose your tools, which is really important. Probably argue a little bit in the beginning because developer loves to do that, but choose the weapon, like the tools, the language you like, the language you wanna just try. Choose the things that you're familiar with if you wanna win, or choose something totally crazy if you wanna just experiment that. But just be sure that everyone is okay with that. Okay, it doesn't make no sense. For example, to have this front-end guy arguing on what you're gonna use at backend if you provide him the real link with you to communicate. So yeah, I was talking about weapons. Sorry, I just saw my slide, my slide. So and yeah, I was saying use the API as a weapon as well. You know that there is API for everything, and try as much as possible to use external stuff. To use things that are already existing. I won't recreate a payment system. I won't recreate a mailing system. I won't recreate a SMS or a searching system. I want to just reuse that. And all these APIs have this freemium pricing stuff. So usually the APIs are there. You can just try them for a few amount of calls, and it's totally fine. And yeah, the documentation is one of the things. Like, I don't know if you saw the talk of Orlando on this, but when you have a creepy documentation on an API, it's really hard for any user or any consumer to just go and copy paste some code and just make it work. But what we love as developer, we are, I won't say lazy, but we are pragmatic. So we just want to just copy some code and just paste it and just make it work. We don't even care of what's going on. We just want to have this small piece of code working. And this is the best when you want to use an API. So we want to use APIs that have good documentation. And yeah, get to know your vendors, the sponsors that are here. Usually sponsor come with evangelists or with some cool swag, or they are physically here to help you, and which is really important as well. Just get to know them, chat with them, and probably they're going to give you ideas, they're going to give you good suggestions, they're going to be here at 3 in the morning helping you. And it really brings a lot of value having these kind of people in a hackathon. Sometimes don't want to recreate, don't want to use your server on your hackathon. Probably do something locally, or if you want to don't want to do something locally, just use platform that everyone understands. Like don't try to make your own stack for everything. Other thing as well, don't try. We are not designers, right? So just use templates. Go on Temforest, find the best template ever that will just be brilliant in the demo, or use frameworks to do. You don't want to deal with CSS, in a hackathon or with some other stuff. Just want to make it fancy. Other thing, the coding part. So this is the hardest part, right? So this is the part that is gonna long forever. So you just want to make sure that this could be a part where you feel like you're at home. Like, so just optimize your environment. Bring your keyboard, bring your screen, bring the stuff that you're comfortable with. I know a lot of people coming with your own mouse. I mean, this thing, people love being comfortable like they're at home. So yeah, walk when you're tired, walk, like just listen to music, go have some food. Usually when you have good hackathons, they provide some good food, and they have this open space where you just can go talk to other people and, network. That's what I was saying in the beginning. And there's one thing I noticed is like whenever you go to a hackathon, it's like jamming in blues. You know that you have a streamline, and you want to just stick to it. So it's really cool when everyone is coding. We don't care about the small details, but you know that everyone is doing his stuff in his languages, in his language, in his mindset, and you want to just see what's going on with everything together. So it's really an environment that I really like. And if you want to experiment, there was a lot of hackathons going on, so I will really advise you just only go once in your life. It's really interesting. As I was saying, GitHub. First, use GitHub for your own project. It happens to me once, like I was with the team on handling the backend side, and one time I just did this RM -R on my whole project just because I was so tired. And the thing is, like, I had only a backup for like 2 hours before, and when it happens, seriously, I'm telling you, you feel so bad, because first you feel so bad yourself, and then you have to announce to your team that you just erased 2 hours of work, and it's really hard. So then everyone, like, make sure that everyone understands Git, and if they don't, it's cool, just teach him, and he will be so happy to understand this. So this is the first thing for versioning, controlling, and then build your portfolio, push everything to Git. Make sure that people see that what you're doing, because you're putting your energy on that, and it could be cool if other people can see what you're doing at Hackathon in your spare time, I would say. It will really demonstrate about how passionate you are about your work, and not only, I would say, doer or a guy just only do that for work. And I mean, if you're all here today, it's just for learning new thing, and not only because, I don't know, you're doing something just because you have to do it. The other thing, the demo, which is a really crucial part, which is a really important part, which is the final showcase. I mean, here you have to give everything. You have to send the guy who present the best in your team, and you want to make sure, if you want to win, that this guy just show a large amount of your work. There is a lot of things you're gonna do that's gonna have no, I would say, no impact on the last demo, but make sure to show everything so that judges can see, like, okay, he did his job and he created something crazy. Other thing, we are all geeks and we love this kind of things, like t-shirts, stickers, or I don't know, I mean, today they're doing some crazy stuff, and we love to have this, It's like when you run a marathon, you love to have the t-shirt of the marathon. It's the same thing for a hackathon. You love to have the small bottle opener or the small, I don't know, drink from this provider, And that's the same, you know, it's a passion, and when you do that, you want to keep track of it, how many hackathons you did. We need to do probably a hackathon with medals. It will totally work. One thing, so yeah, feel free to try the Mailjet API. So as I was telling in the beginning, we do an API for sending, tracking, and delivering and receiving emails. So if you want to just try it to the next hackathon, I'll be happy to help on that. So feel free to ping me on my Twitter if it happens. And if you did not receive this, we are providing today for this API Days a 430 euros voucher for 6 months of Silver plan. So feel free to use it and give us some feedback. And tonight we are with APIdays. We're doing an after party in a bar, which is the bar Nuria, just near of it. So we hope you're gonna come, and it could be really awesome to have everyone there. And yes, that's the end of my presentation. That's the end of my presentation. If you have some questions, I'll let you know.
Wow. So an evangelist schedule is quite full, right?
It was trouble.
So some question about hackathons and APIs. Yeah, 2 questions there.
Hey, thanks. That's an awesome talk. Just wanted to ask you, do you think that it's better to like put people to work on a random idea, like to make them like tell them like use the API, just do whatever you want, or like to like push them in a certain direction so that it's more likely they achieve something by the end?
What I believe, as I told in the beginning, you have 2 goals. Sometimes people want to just go into a specific direction. We comes in the hackathon with a specific idea and want to achieve it, and it totally makes sense because they want to progress in this. And when it happens, just probably don't go with random people. If you want to have some friend coming in, or people that you know, or people that you know he's the best in this technology, go with them. But I know a lot of people they go, to really have fun, to discover stuff. And this is truly great to be with random people. And you will be totally amazed by the fact that a lot of people are way better than you and way not better than you on some stuff. And it's really cool to see how we are humans. I won't say we judge people, but whenever we see people, we're like, oh my God, he's probably the best guy and he knows everything better than everyone. And it's totally not true sometimes. And it's really great when you have these random teams because you can learn a lot from just other people.
Hi, Shubham. Great presentation. I had a question about, basically, what do you think about the ideas at hackathons? Do you think there's a lot of recycling ideas? So people, for example, in Europe might recycle ideas of big hackathons that might have occurred in, 3 months before in the US. Do you see that a lot? Because obviously you go to a lot of hackathons. Is that like a problem, do you think? Or do people always come up with new ideas? What's your experience?
You mean attendees or the organizers?
Attendees, yeah.
I didn't saw that much, like copies of other hacks, because usually when this happened, they got published on the internet and people know about it. But when it happens, people notice that and don't want to do a copy. Of course, the trends are probably coming sometimes. Like MLH, they provide this Oculus Rift and these small Raspberry Pis or these Arduino for every hackathon. And of course, they were doing that in London and then in the US. So as they're providing it, everyone want to try it. So the trends, they provide sometimes the trends. So it's true that the trend is going on hardware stuff. So yeah, sometimes it follows.
One more question. So I will maybe just ask one. What are the more common APIs that are used? Because I don't know, Mashape made a tool like 2 years ago about like it's a API combinator. Like they pick 3 APIs at random and they tell you, oh, you should send email when the music is recognizing a face on the car. So it's completely crazy, but actually you cannot make it at Hackathon. But But now, if you really pick and choose, what are the most really useful, like the core common stack of APIs? Of course, Mailjet, but
that's not a question.
Else.
No, I mean, we see that there are trends like when people want to do one thing, there is a leader in this, I would say, in the industry when it talks about payment or when it talks about searching or stuff like that. But on the API side, there is this thing, and it's so totally true. When an API is a sponsor of a hackathon, people want to use it because usually what happens is that the API provider is just giving away some cool stuff or rewarding people with their gifts, and people want to use these APIs, and that's totally well played from the API part. But on the stacks, I mean, it's always changes. Of course, I won't say that Python is more trendy than other language because you have this eternal debate on the languages, but there is no rules. I mean, there is no rule. It's true on the front end, people are more likely to use the JavaScript framework. They are more trendy because they want to try that and all this stuff, but there is not really a stack, a typical stack.
There's no like Twilio, Firebase, or like specific things that.
It's true. Like if I see like the previous ones that I did, a lot of people want to use just, for example, Twilio because they think. What is Twilio again? No, just kidding. I mean, because it's SMS and they see like, yeah, it could be cool to just send an SMS when something happens. So it will make the demo more cool. And it's true, it makes it more cool. And Firebase, sometimes people do not want to now, like it was when Firebase was not here, people just took classical database, right? So today it's just, yeah, take Firebase. It's on the internet and it goes fast. So I don't even need to do anything. So it works. But I mean, it's going to be probably 2 teams every hackathon using that, but the other ones no. So
okay. So as a sponsor, when you go, you inspire developers by using your stuff, right? Mostly?
That's true, and it's totally true. When you're a sponsor, you inspire them because you're giving gift, but then because you're just here helping them and giving them ideas. When someone is stuck, like you can say, hey, why don't you use this or this? So you can, it's true, influence them in a certain way, but they love it because they want to learn. From what I see in other hackathons as
well. Do you have any experience of, like, when doing hackathon, to use a hackathon to connect the developer or engineering community with other communities that are not usually aware of how technology or APIs can solve problems they have?
So I've seen a lot of stuff like the startup weekends and things like that where you have this whole weekend, which is kind of a long amount of period where people work together, sometimes without sleeping. And I would say as developers, we are sometimes used to that. So a lot of developers comes inside as well. And they understand the need of having developers in their teams and stuff. So they totally understand that they need our kind of people just to code because they know that we are solvers of problems and we are builders as well. So they totally understand that, and they are totally frustrated of not having one developers in their teams when it happens. So they are aware of that. And when it comes about, I would say they are aware of this kind of, all the entrepreneurs and people that want to build companies or build things, they are aware of Hackathon. They are aware that developers come and code. Whole thing. But about the other communities, like I don't know if people in consulting, which I don't know if they are aware of that, to be honest.
Thank you, Shubham. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks.